You didn't find this by accident. Maybe this is where the faith you've been seeking finally meets you. The glow of your screen hums softly in the darkness, matching the faint buzz of the fan in your room. You feel the weight of the day settling into your shoulders, the endless scroll slowing just for a moment as you shift under your blanket. The glow on your face is gentle but sharp, and your eyes tired from the day's noise flicker, wondering if there's something more in the quiet of this moment. Your breath is slow, hesitant, caught between the urge to check one more notification and the quiet call of your own heart asking to be seen. A hush sits in the room, almost holy, like the air before dawn, like the stillness on a lake that reflects a single star. You probably won't survive this world on noise and hurry alone. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Leave a comment with your city and what time you're listening. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You are here, and that is enough for now. The world is loud with expectations whispering that you must earn your worth by always doing, by becoming, by producing, by achieving something worth showing. But here, under the hush of night, God sees you just as you are, not for what you post or what you prove, but for the quiet beating of your heart, which is enough to make him draw near. There's a story, you remember, a gentle one, about Jesus walking through small towns, not rushing, not trying to go viral, not looking for the next big moment to prove who he was. He would sit by a well, resting, waiting, knowing that someone needed to be seen, really seen for who they were and not who they pretended to be. Maybe tonight, that someone is you. You breathe in slow and unhurried and let your lungs fill with air you didn't earn, but simply receive. This breath is a small act of faith, a reminder that you can receive love without earning it, just as you can receive this air without striving. And in the quiet, maybe you can feel it, a presence soft and patient, meeting you in your breathing, in the silence between heartbeats, in the warmth of your own skin. You have spent the day trying to be enough, to respond quickly, to meet deadlines, to keep up with people you've never met, to be seen in a world that only looks for a moment before it scrolls past. But here, in the glow of this moment, you are already seen, fully, without filters, without your curated words, without your polished stories. You, as you are tired and hopeful, worn and alive, are seen. Outside, the world might still rush cars, might still pass notifications, might still ping quietly in the background, but you are here choosing to rest, choosing to be still, choosing to listen to the soft call of God telling you that you are loved in the middle of your ordinary, messy, beautifully real life. Maybe you've spent too long believing that God meets only the holy moments, the quiet church mornings, the big life decisions. But the God who loves you also meets you in the ordinary, in the late night screen glow, in the mess of laundry on your chair, in the undone checklist, in the weariness that makes you lie down just to catch your breath. Tonight, God is not asking you to become someone else to be loved. He is not asking you to fix yourself before you rest. He is not asking you to silence your questions before you are welcome. He is simply meeting you where you are, as you are in this quiet, in this breath, in this space where you let your guard down for just a moment. And maybe, just maybe, you can begin to believe that loving yourself is not about becoming perfect, but about seeing yourself the way God sees you, tenderly, gently, with patience and hope. Maybe tonight you can learn to let go of the heavy weight of proving your worth and instead rest in the truth that you are already loved. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the hum of the fan blend with your breathing, letting your shoulders fall just a little more, letting your jaw unclench. This is your sacred pause, your hidden holy ground where God whispers that your worth does not change with your productivity, your following your failures or your successes. It remains steady and true in His eyes. As you drift deeper into this stillness, you are invited to carry this truth into tomorrow, to wake with the reminder that you don't have to earn love you already have, and that perhaps in this busy world, the most radical act of faith is to rest in being loved, even when you feel you haven't done enough. You scroll endlessly, but your soul grows tired, and Jesus whispers that you don't have to keep running to be loved. The light of your screen flickers softly across your face as your thumb moves out of habit, your mind caught between images and reels and updates that promise to fill the emptiness you can't quite name. You tell yourself it's just a quick check before bed, but the minutes slip quietly, turning into an hour, turning into a weight that you feel in your chest when you finally look away. You are not alone in this. So many hearts beat under the glow of screens late at night, seeking something connection, meaning the sense that we belong. You scroll past smiling faces and stories of people who seem to have it all figured out their lives carefully edited and lit their joy wrapped in captions that make it look effortless. And you wonder if you are enough. If you're too far behind, too small, too late. But in the middle of this quiet scrolling, a gentle whisper comes softer than the noise, softer than the doubts, reminding you that you don't have to keep running to be loved. You see, the world teaches you to move fast, to hustle, to always be reaching for the next goal, the next improvement, the next version of yourself that will finally be worthy. But the way of Jesus is different. He walks slowly, seeing people others overlook, pausing for conversations others rush past, stopping under the weight of love, not urgency. You think about the times, Tuda, when you felt behind, when your worth felt tied to how quickly you responded, how many things you accomplished, how many people noticed your efforts. You felt the pressure in your shoulders, the restlessness in your mind, the endless mental list of things left undone. And maybe, just maybe, Jesus is inviting you to let go of the belief that you need to be constantly moving to be valuable, that your worth is not measured by your speed, your hustle, or your efficiency, that you are already enough, even if the world tells you otherwise. Imagine Him sitting beside you now, quiet and patient, not rushing you to change, not pushing you to produce, but simply being with you. His presence is steady, like a quiet river that keeps flowing even when you stop to breathe. His eyes hold no disappointment, no urgency, only a gentle invitation to rest. You take a deep breath, and it feels heavy at first, like your lungs have forgotten how to fill fully. You let it out slowly, feeling the tension in your neck loosen just a little. You pause, noticing the coolness of the air, the sound of the night outside your window, the hum of the world that keeps spinning even as you choose to stop for a moment. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to step away from the noise, from the comparisons, from the endless scrolling that leaves your soul weary. You are allowed to believe that you are loved in this moment, not because of what you've done, but simply because you are. Jesus once walked with people who felt unworthy, who felt unseen, who carried burdens that were too heavy to speak out loud. He didn't demand they move faster or prove themselves before he would walk beside them. He simply loved them where they were. And in his love, they found the courage to rest, to heal, to hope again. Tonight, you can choose to close your eyes for a moment and remember that you are not required to be constantly available to everyone else at the cost of your own soul. You can let yourself be human, limited, tender, in need of rest. Perhaps you can even consider small sacred practices, turning off notifications for a few hours tomorrow, taking a walk without your phone, sitting in quiet for 5 minutes to simply breathe. Not to be productive, but to remember that you are alive, and that is enough. And as you let your body sink deeper into rest, you remember that God sees you, not your output, not your curated life, not your striving, but you, the real you, tired and trying, hopeful and hurting, loved beyond what you can measure. Let this be the truth you carry into sleep tonight. You don't have to keep running to be loved. You are already held even in your weariness. In your rush, you forget your breath is prayer. And even in digital noise, God invites you back to this quiet. Your day is filled with alerts, reminders, and the constant call of a world that never pauses. You wake to alarms and notifications before the sun has fully risen, your eyes adjusting to the glow of your screen before they see the morning light. It feels necessary, this rush, to keep up, this urgency to respond, to prove you are present and responsible, to let everyone know you are alive and achieving. And in this constant movement, you forget that your breath is a gift, a prayer, a reminder that you are alive without earning it, that your existence is a miracle, quietly unfolding, even if you never post about it. You take shallow breaths, the kind that barely fill your lungs, the kind that match your hurried scrolling and quick glances at the time, always calculating what is next. You don't mean to live this way, but the world rewards speed, rewards multitasking, rewards constant engagement. You start to believe that slowing down is lazy, that stillness is wasteful, that quiet is empty. But Jesus was never in a rush. Even when crowds pressed around him, even when the needs were endless, he would step away to pray alone, to be with the Father, to breathe deeply the air of quiet places. His pauses were not weakness, but wisdom, reminders that the soul needs silence to hear the whispers of love, that the body needs rest to carry kindness into the world. Tonight, you are invited to pause, to notice your breath, to feel it move in and out of your body, to let it slow until it matches the hush of the night. In this breath, you are not performing, you are receiving. In this breath, you are not proving your worth, you are remembering it. As your chest rises and falls, feel the weight of your day begin to lift, if only slightly. the emails, the messages, the unspoken fears and comparisons, the quiet guilt that says you should be doing more. Let them pause for just this breath. Let this breath be a prayer without words, a gentle reaching toward God without needing to explain yourself. Maybe you feel resistance, even now. The urge to reach for your phone to distract yourself from the quiet, to find something else to scroll through so you don't have to face the stillness. You're not alone in this. Stillness can feel scary, like standing in a dark room, waiting for your eyes to adjust, not sure what you will see. But in this stillness, God meets you. God does not demand you to be strong before you come to Him. He does not require you to have the right words before you can pray. He meets you in your breath, in your humanness, in your smallness, in the quiet places where you finally let yourself be real. You can place your hand on your heart now, if it helps, feeling the gentle rhythm that has carried you through every moment of your life, even the moments you thought you couldn't survive. Each beat is a reminder that you are here, that you are loved, that you are held. Tonight, let your breath become your prayer. Let your breathing slow until you feel the tension ease from your shoulders, the tightness in your chest, loosening the noise in your mind, quieting even if only for a moment. Let this moment remind you that your worth is not in what you do, but in who you are. God's beloved, even in your weariness. And when you feel the urge to rush back to the noise, to fill the quiet with something, anything, remember, this God invites you to return to this quiet again and again, without shame, without hurry, without fear. This quiet is your home, the place where your soul breathes and remembers that you are not alone, that you are loved, that you can rest. You are allowed to live a life that is not defined by hurry. You are allowed to find small pauses in your day, moments of deep breath, of noticing the sky, of feeling the warmth of your coffee cup, of sitting in silence before you speak. These are not wasted moments. They are sacred. And as you drift toward rest, remember, your breath is a prayer. Your quiet is holy. And even in the digital noise of this world, God is whispering to you, inviting you back to the quiet where love meets you exactly as you are. Like a seed under cold soil, your worth is hidden, but growing even when your notifications say you are falling behind. There are days when it feels like the world is sprinting ahead without you. You see people sharing their wins, their milestones, their bright moments of arrival, and something in your chest tightens with a quiet fear that you are being left behind. Your notifications, or the lack of them, become tiny verdicts on your worth, whispering that you should be doing more. Being more, showing more. But what if your worth is not visible in the same way? What if it is like a seed under cold soil, hidden from sight, unseen, and quiet but growing in the dark, waiting for its season to rise? Seeds do not hurry. They do not scroll to see how quickly others are growing. They do not panic when the ground above them feels heavy, or when the cold winds pass over the earth, or when rain soaks the soil. Seeds trust that the dark is part of the process, that the quiet is not the absence of growth, but the place where growth begins. Tonight, in the hush of your room, you are invited to remember that you are allowed to grow slowly, that you are allowed to be hidden for a while, to be unseen, to be small and quiet and patient. This world will tell you that you need to be visible to matter, that you need to be loud to be heard, that you need to be fast to stay relevant. But God's way is often hidden, quiet, slow. Think of how Jesus came into the world not as a celebrity in shining clothes, but as a baby in a stable, unnoticed by most, growing in the hidden years before stepping into his ministry. For years, he was simply present, living quietly, learning, loving, working before anyone knew his name. The unseen years were not wasted. They were the soil in which his purpose grew. You too are allowed to have unseen years. You are allowed to grow in ways that others cannot see, to heal in quiet, to learn in hidden places, to build faith in silence. Your worth is not diminished because it is not broadcasted. Your growth is not less real because it is not visible to everyone. Perhaps you can remember moments in your life when you felt hidden, when you felt small, when you thought nothing was happening. And yet, here you are, carrying lessons learned in those dark places, wisdom formed in the silent strength that came from seasons of being unseen. Those seasons shaped you, and they will continue to shape you. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, you can let go of the pressure to be visible. You can allow yourself to breathe in the quiet, to trust that God sees what others do not, that He knows the growth that is happening beneath the surface of your days, even when you cannot see it yet. The world may never slow down, but you can. You can choose to live rooted like a seed, trusting that the quiet is not empty, but filled with the slow work of God shaping your life, your heart, your faith. You can trust that you are not falling behind just because you are growing slowly. You are not called to keep up with everyone else's timeline. You are called to grow at the pace of grace, to rise in your season, to bloom when the time is right, to trust that God's timing is not rushed, and neither does it leave you behind. And as you let yourself rest tonight, may you feel the gentle assurance that your worth is hidden, but growing. That even when the surface of your life feels still, there is holy movement beneath roots, forming faith, deepening hope, expanding quietly within you. You do not need to rush to prove that you are becoming. You can trust that you are already becoming exactly who you are meant to be, even here, even now, even in the dark. You measure yourself against others online, but the gentle way of Jesus teaches you a different mirror. It is so easy to slip into comparison without noticing, like a quiet tide pulling at your feet while you stand on the shore. You open your phone for a moment of distraction, and within seconds, you find yourself looking at someone else's life through the lens they've chosen to share. Their highlights, their celebrations, their filtered moments of beauty and success. And without realizing it, you begin to measure your worth against theirs. You see their progress, and you question your pace. You see their joy, and you question your happiness. You see their beauty, their community, their achievements, and a soft but sharp voice inside whispers that you are lacking, that you are not enough, that you should be more, do more, become more. Comparison is a silent thief. It steals your joy, your peace, your gratitude for the life you have been given. It convinces you that your story is only valuable if it looks like someone else's, that your worth is determined by the metrics of visibility and applause. But Jesus teaches a different way. His eyes are not critical. They are kind. His way is not comparison, but compassion. Not competition, but contentment. Not striving, but resting in who you are and whose you are. He sees you as you are, without the filters, without the edits, without the curated moments you share with the world. He sees the moments when you feel small, when you feel unseen, when you feel like you are not enough. And He meets you there, not with judgment, but with love. Tonight, as you lay under the glow of your screen, you are invited to look into a different mirror, a mirror that reflects how God sees you. Not measured by your achievements, your appearance, or your ability to keep up with others, but measured by the love He has for you. A love that is steady, constant, and unchanging. Imagine Jesus sitting beside you now, gently turning your face away from the endless scroll of comparison, lifting your eyes to meet His. In His eyes, there is no disappointment, no criticism, no pressure to become someone else. There is only love, patient, and true, reminding you that you are already enough. Comparison tells you to hustle harder to achieve more, so you can finally feel worthy. Jesus tells you that you are worthy now, in this breath, in this quiet, even when you feel behind. Comparison tells you to look at others to define your value. Jesus tells you to look at Him to remember your value. Perhaps you can take a small step tonight to reclaim your peace from comparison. Maybe it's putting your phone down for a while, or taking a walk without looking at a screen, or writing down 3 things you are grateful for in your own life. Not as a task to prove your worth, but as a gentle reminder that your life as it is holds beauty. You are allowed to celebrate others without diminishing yourself. You are allowed to grow at your own pace, to live your own story, to honor the unique way God is shaping your life. You do not have to compare your journey to anyone else's to know that it is sacred. The gentle way of Jesus invites you to lay down the heavy weight of comparison and to pick up the lightness of grace, to believe that your worth does not rise and fall with the likes, the views, the affirmations of others, to remember that you are loved deeply and fully, exactly as you are. And as you prepare to rest, may you feel the quiet freedom that comes when you let go of comparison and rest in God's love. May you remember that your story is valuable, your pace is holy, and your worth is secure, not because of how you measure against others, but because of the one who made you, who sees you, and who loves you without condition. Between meetings and messages, God meets you in small, quiet moments you overlook. Your days are stitched together by notifications, replies, errands, and small urgencies that demand your attention before you've even had a chance to take a breath. You move from one task to another, answering emails with half your mind while thinking about the next meeting, checking your phone, at red lights scrolling while you eat your mind rarely in one place at a time. You tell yourself you will slow down later when things are less busy, when your list is shorter, when the world stops demanding so much of you, but later never quite comes. The rush becomes your rhythm, the hurry your habit, the constant motion your familiar hum. And in that hum, the small, quiet moments pass by unnoticed. But God does not need grand, perfect moments to meet you. He is not waiting for you to climb a mountain or escape to a retreat before He will speak. He meets you in the ordinary, in the moments you call small, in the places you overlook, because you are searching for something louder, something bigger. When you stand in line and take a breath instead of reaching for your phone, He is there. When you watch the steam rising from your coffee and pause before taking a sip, He is there. When you walk to your car and notice the way the light rests on the leaves, He is there. When you close your eyes for a moment and feel your heartbeat, He is there. God is not distant from your daily life. He is woven into it, present in the spaces between your meetings, in the seconds of silence between your words, in the moments when you let yourself notice that you are alive here now. Jesus lived fully present in every moment. Whether He was walking along a dusty road, sitting at a table with friends, or pausing to notice someone others overlooked, He did not rush past the sacred hidden in the ordinary. His life was a series of small, holy moments, each one filled with purpose, because He was present within them. You do not have to leave your life to find God. You only need to notice Him in it. In the smile of a stranger, in the quiet of your room, in the laughter that bubbles up unexpectedly, in the tears that fall when you finally let yourself feel. These are the small places where God meets you, reminding you that your life does not need to be loud to be holy. Perhaps tonight you can reflect on your day and remember the small moments you might have missed. The way the sunlight came through your window, the kindness in someone's voice, the moment you laughed, the breath you took before answering, the way your body carried you through the day, even when you felt tired. You are allowed to live a small, quiet life and trust that it is deeply meaningful. You are allowed to pause, to notice, to savor, to breathe. You are allowed to find God not only in the big moments, but in the daily hidden ones, the ones that feel too ordinary to matter. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, let yourself remember that your faith is not only for Sundays, not only for the big decisions, not only for the moments you feel strong. Your faith is for now, for this quiet, for the soft moments between the noise, for the places where you simply live and breathe and let yourself be loved. God meets you in the small, quiet moments you overlook. And perhaps in noticing them, you will discover that your life is already sacred, already held, already filled with moments of grace you do not need to earn. You can have thousands of connections, but feel unseen, and God sees the real you behind every post. You can count the notifications, the followers, the small digital hearts and thumbs up that gather across your screens each day. You can scroll through comments and messages, the moments when people see your words, your pictures, your stories. And for a fleeting second, you feel seen. You feel known, valued, connected. And yet, when the screen goes dark, there is a silence that settles in your room. A soft, heavy quiet that makes you wonder if anyone really knows you, if anyone truly sees the parts of you that don't get posted, the parts that are too messy, too uncertain, too quiet to share. It is possible to be surrounded by connection and still feel deeply alone. It is possible to have people who know your updates without knowing your heart. It is possible to craft a life that looks alive online while feeling empty when you close your eyes at night. You don't post the moments when your doubts keep you awake, when you wonder if you are truly loved, when you question if you are enough. You don't always share the small fears that sit in your chest or the quiet tears that come when you feel like you are behind, unseen, or failing. But God sees the real you, the you who feels small and afraid, the you who tries your best and still feels like it's not enough, the you who carries hope and worry in the same breath, the you who longs to be seen, not just for what you do, but for who you are. He sees you in the glow of your screen, in the scrolling, in the searching, in the quiet moments when you put your phone down and let yourself exhale. Who sees the part of you that is tired of performing, tired of comparing, tired of always trying to prove that you are worthy of love and belonging. Jesus spent time with people who felt unseen, people who lived on the edges, people who were overlooked by the crowd. He didn't look past them. He looked at them. He called them by name, saw their stories, saw their hearts, and loved them exactly as they were. You are seen in the same way, fully, completely, without condition. God does not love you for your highlight reel. He loves you in the quiet, in the hidden, in the moments when you feel small and unnoticed by the world. You don't have to be impressive to be loved. You don't have to be loud to be heard. You don't have to be perfect to be seen. Tonight, let yourself rest in the truth that you are fully known and fully loved. You don't have to curate your heart for God. You don't have to hide the parts of you that feel weak or uncertain. You can bring your whole self, your whole story, your real, messy, honest heart to Him, and know that you will be met with love. Perhaps you can practice being seen by allowing yourself to be honest with God in the quiet of this night. You can tell Him your fears, your hopes, your hidden longings. You can let your breath become your prayer, your silence become your surrender, your quiet become your connection. And as you drift into sleep, remember that you are not alone, even if you feel lonely. You are seen, you are known, you are loved. Behind every post, beyond every screen, in the silence of your room, you are held by a love that will not let you go. You don't have to be visible to the world to matter. You matter because you are God's, and nothing can take that away. You judge your failures harshly, but Jesus sees your tired heart with kindness, asking you to rest. You lie in bed at night, replaying the moments you wish you could change, the words you wish you hadn't said, the tasks you didn't complete, the plans that didn't unfold the way you hoped. Your mind replays these moments like a film you can't stop, each scene reminding you of your imperfections, your mistakes, your shortcomings. You feel the weight of your own expectations pressing on your chest, the silent disappointment you carry for not being as disciplined, as productive, as joyful, as put together as you think you should be. It is a quiet ache, a silent shame, the fear that you are somehow failing at living the life you're meant to live. You judge yourself harshly, measuring your worth by your failures, by the moments you fell short, by the dreams you have not yet reached. You think that if you could just do better, be better, achieve more, you would finally be worthy of rest, worthy of love, worthy of kindness. But Jesus sees you differently. He sees the tired heart behind your striving, the soul weary from carrying expectations you were never meant to bear alone. He sees your attempts to hold everything together, your desire to be good, to do good, to live well, even when you stumble. He sees the tears you hide, the heaviness you carry, the quiet prayers you whisper when no one else is listening. And He does not meet you with condemnation. He meets you with kindness, with compassion, with rest. Jesus once said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." He did not say, "Come to me when you have it all together." He did not say, "Come to me when you have fixed yourself." He said, "Come to me as you are." Tonight, you are invited to lay down the heavy burden of self-judgment, to believe that you are allowed to rest even when you feel you haven't done enough, to let go of the belief that your failures define you, and to remember that your identity is rooted not in your perfection, but in God's love for you. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are not defined by your shortcomings. You are not valued only for your successes. You are loved because you are His, and nothing can change that. Perhaps you can place your hand on your heart, now feeling its steady beat, a reminder that you are alive, that you are here, that you are loved even in your imperfection. Let your breath be slow and gentle, letting the weight of the day fall away as you breathe out. You are allowed to be human. You are allowed to be unfinished. You are allowed to be in process. You are allowed to rest. God's kindness is not reserved for the moments you feel worthy. It is offered to you now in this moment, exactly as you are. His love does not waver when you fall. His grace does not withdraw when you fail. His presence does not leave when you are tired. Tonight, let yourself rest in that kindness. Let yourself believe that you are loved even in your failures, that you are held even in your weakness, that you are seen and cherished even when you feel you are not enough. And as you drift towards sleep, let the gentle truth settle into your heart. You do not have to be perfect to be loved. You are already loved fully and deeply by a God who sees your tired heart with kindness and invites you to rest. Amid the endless noise, God's quiet love is patient, inviting you to hear Him beneath the clutter. There is a hum in your mind that never quite goes away, a low, constant noise that follows you from morning to night. Notifications, reminders, the unspoken pressure to respond quickly, to stay informed, to be available. The scrolling, the updates, the messages, the subtle fear of missing something important. If you step away, even for a moment, it is a noise that fills the spaces where silence once lived. A noise that drowns out the softness of your own thoughts, the whispers of your own heart, the gentle pull of God's presence that you can feel only when you slow down enough to notice. You may not even realize how loud it has become until you try to sit in quiet and find that your mind fidgets like a restless child, seeking another distraction, another screen, another sound to fill the stillness. Silence feels uncomfortable, like a space you do not know how to inhabit anymore, like a room that echoes too loudly with everything you have been avoiding. But God's love is patient. He does not demand that you silence the noise all at once. He does not shame you for the clutter in your mind, the distractions you carry, the way you reach for your phone before you reach for Him. He waits, quietly, gently, steadily. He is not in a hurry to compete with the noise. His love does not need to shout over the chaos. It simply remains waiting for you beneath the layers of distraction, ready to meet you whenever you are ready to be met. Perhaps you can feel it now, even in this moment, a softness beneath the noise, a gentle presence that says, "I am here," a quiet reminder that you are loved, that you are not alone, that you are not defined by the constant motion of the world around you. Jesus often stepped away from the crowds, from the busyness, from the noise, to find quiet places where He could be with the Father. He modeled a life that made space for silence, for rest, for the deep, quiet connection that nourishes the soul. Not because He was avoiding the world, but because He knew that to love the world well, He needed to stay connected to the one who is love. You too are invited to find moments of quiet, even in small ways. A breath before you check your phone, a pause before you speak, a moment of stillness before you begin your day. These are small sacred acts that help you remember that you are not a machine built for endless output, but a soul made for connection. It is not easy to quiet the noise, especially when it has become your constant companion. But you can begin with one breath, one pause, one small moment of silence where you let yourself remember that God's love is here now, waiting beneath the clutter. You can practice letting yourself be still, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. You can practice sitting in silence, letting your mind settle, letting your heart soften, letting yourself be seen by God, without needing to perform or prove anything. And as you do, you may begin to notice that the noise, while loud, is not everything. That beneath the notifications and the demands and the endless scroll, there is a river of peace that flows quietly, patiently, ready to carry you if you let it. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, let yourself step into that quiet, even if only for a moment. Let yourself breathe deeply, letting the noise fall away with each exhale, letting your body relax, letting your mind soften. God's quiet love is patient. It waits for you. It holds you. It meets you in the silence. You do not have to earn it. You do not have to be perfect to receive it. You only need to pause long enough to let yourself notice that it is here now, waiting for you. And in this quiet, may you remember that you are loved, that you are held, that you are safe, even amid the noise. You try to prove yourself, but the faith Jesus shows is love that comes before your performance. There is a part of you that feels the need to earn everything, your place, your worth, your belonging. You wake up and step into a world that measures you by what you can produce, by what you can show, by how you can prove your value through visible effort and results. You measure yourself too. keeping a mental tally of your accomplishments and failures, weighing each day by how productive you were, how much you checked off the list, how much you achieved. And when you fall short, when you feel unproductive or unnoticed, a quiet fear creeps in, whispering that you are falling behind, that you are not enough, that you need to try harder, do more, be better, to be worthy of love and rest. It becomes easy to carry this mindset into your faith, to believe that God's love must be earned, that His acceptance must be achieved through your good behavior, your spiritual disciplines, your visible faithfulness. You feel pressure to prove that you are worthy of His love, to perform your faith well enough to keep His approval, to show that you are trying hard enough to be accepted. But the love Jesus shows is not earned. It is not conditional. It is not measured by your performance or productivity. It is a love that comes first, a love that meets you in your unworthiness and calls you beloved before you do anything to deserve it. Jesus loved people who had nothing to offer Him, who had failed, who had fallen short, who had no accomplishments to prove themselves. He sat with them, listened to them, healed them, ate with them, and called them His own. His love did not wait for them to get it all together. His love came first, and it was this love that changed them, that gave them the courage to begin again, to live differently, to believe they were worthy of love. You too are loved before you perform, before you prove, before you achieve. You are loved now in this moment exactly as you are. You are loved in your weakness, in your uncertainty, in your imperfections. You are loved not because of what you do, but because of who God is. This love is a gift, one that you can not earn and do not need to deserve. It is offered freely, patiently, gently inviting you to rest in the truth that you are enough because you are His. Perhaps tonight, as you lay in the quiet, you can let yourself breathe out the pressure to perform. You can let yourself exhale the need to prove your worth. You can let your body relax, your mind soften, your heart open to the truth that you are already loved. You don't have to try so hard to be worthy of God's love. You don't have to achieve your way into His acceptance. You don't have to perform your faith perfectly to be held by His grace. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to be human. You are allowed to receive love that you did not earn, to accept grace that you did not achieve, to be held by kindness that is not based on your success. And as you let yourself rest in this love, may you find the freedom to live without the constant pressure to prove yourself. May you remember that your value does not come from your performance, but from your identity as God's beloved child. Tonight, let this truth be your comfort. God's love comes first, and it will not leave you. You are already enough, already loved, already held, even when you feel like you have nothing to show. You can let yourself rest, knowing that love is already here. You fear silence, but in turning off the noise, you find God's gentle, reassuring presence. There is a subtle fear that creeps in when the world grows quiet around you, when the screens dim and the notifications stop, when the room hums with nothing but the soft sound of your breath and the low whir of a fan. The silence feels heavy, unfamiliar, like a space too wide to fill with your restless mind, a place where everything you've been avoiding might finally catch up to you. You reach for your phone to check something, anything, just to feel connected again, to fill the stillness with noise that reassures you that you are not alone, that you are still part of the world's rhythm. The silence feels like a void, a mirror reflecting your hidden worries and quiet insecurities, the questions you don't want to ask, the fears you don't want to face. But what if the silence is not empty? What if it is holy, a hidden sanctuary where God is waiting to meet you? Without the noise, without the rush, without the constant stream of distraction, you are not alone in fearing silence. The world has conditioned you to believe that productivity is proof of worth, that busyness is a badge of honor, that stillness is laziness. Noise feels safe because it keeps you from hearing your own doubts, your own longings, your own heart asking to be known. And yet in the life of Jesus, we see him stepping into silence, seeking quiet places, leaving the crowds, turning away from the noise and resting in the presence of the Father. He was not afraid of silence because he knew it was there that he found connection, strength, clarity, and peace. Tonight, you are invited to turn off the noise, not because it is easy, but because it is in the quiet that you can finally hear the gentle voice of God reminding you that you are loved, that you are safe, that you are held. The silence does not have to be filled. It can simply be a space where you can sit with your own heart, letting it soften, letting it breathe, letting it be seen by God, who knows every fear and every hope you carry. Perhaps you can try it now. Let the screen go dark. Let your eyes close. Let your breath slow. Let the room be still. Let the silence settle around you like a soft blanket, warm and comforting, even if it feels strange at first. In this quiet, you may begin to notice things you have been too busy to see, the way your chest rises and falls with each breath, the way your heart continues to beat, the way your body carries you through each day, even when you feel tired. You may notice the soft presence of God closer than your breath, waiting patiently for you to notice that he has been here all along. God does not rush you in the silence. He does not demand that you fix yourself before you can be with him. He simply offers you his presence, his peace, his love, exactly as you are in this quiet moment. You are allowed to step away from the noise. You are allowed to rest in silence. You are allowed to find comfort in the quiet, to discover that it is not empty, but filled with the steady love of God, who sees you, who knows you, who holds you. And as you let yourself rest in this silence tonight, may you find the courage to return to it tomorrow and the next day, not as an escape from life, but as a way to live it more fully, more connected, more rooted in the love that is always here for you. You do not have to fear the silence. It is in the quiet that you will find God's gentle, reassuring presence, reminding you that you are loved, that you are safe, that you are already enough. Even when you fall short, you get to start again tomorrow, carried by grace rather than shame. You have days when you promise yourself you will slow down, breathe deeper, live with more intention, and remember that you are loved without having to prove it. But then the day begins and the noise returns. The notifications call for your attention. The small and big pressures weave themselves into your shoulders, and by the end of the day, you feel like you fell short again. You meant to pray, but you forgot. You meant to rest, but you kept working. You meant to be patient, but you snapped in frustration. You meant to trust, but you found yourself worrying about tomorrow. The day ends and a quiet shame creeps in, telling you that you failed again, that you will never get it right, that you are too inconsistent to be worthy of the peace you long for. But grace says something different. Grace says you get to start again tomorrow. Grace says your failures do not disqualify you from love. Grace says your imperfect efforts are seen and valued, that your small steps matter, that your humanity is not a disappointment to God. Grace carries you gently into the next sunrise, reminding you that you are allowed to try again, to learn to grow, to be held even in your shortcomings. You do not have to carry the weight of yesterday's failures into tomorrow. You do not have to wake up with shame as your first companion. You are allowed to wake up with hope, with the quiet assurance that God's mercy is new every morning, that His love has not changed overnight, that His faithfulness is steady, even when you feel shaky. Jesus knew you would fall short. He knew you would forget, would worry, would lose your way, would try and fail, would promise and forget. And still, He chose to love you, to walk with you, to call you His beloved, to carry you in grace that covers every place you fall short. Perhaps tonight, as you lay in the quiet, you can take a deep breath and let yourself feel the relief of being allowed to begin again. You can let the tension leave your shoulders as you exhale the guilt you've been holding, letting it drift away into the night, replaced by the soft truth that you are loved even here. You can whisper to yourself, "I'm allowed to begin again." You can remember that the God who made the dawn made it as a reminder that each day is a new invitation, a fresh start, a chance to live, loved, to live slowly, to live aware of the grace that holds you. You are not disqualified by your failures. You are not too messy for grace. You are not too far gone to be brought back into the soft, safe presence of God's love. You are allowed to rest tonight, knowing that tomorrow is another day to try to grow, to love, to be loved. And as you prepare to let yourself drift into sleep, may you carry this truth with you. Even when you fall short, you are carried by grace rather than shame. You are allowed to wake up tomorrow and start again, not to earn love, but to live in the love that is already yours. Let this be the promise that soothes your heart tonight. You are allowed to begin again, and you are never alone as you do. Let everything slow down now. Let the glow of your screen fade. The last notifications of the day dissolve into the quiet, the soft hum of the fan, and your own breathing, filling the room with a gentle rhythm. Let your shoulders drop your jaw. Unclench your hands. Rest softly at your side. Let this moment be exactly what it is: a pause, a breath, a gentle closing to the day that has brought you here. You have spent enough time running, proving, performing, comparing. You have spent enough time holding your breath in the busyness, measuring your worth in the noise, carrying the weight of your own expectations. But here in this quiet, you are invited to let go, to trust that God sees you, knows you, and holds you exactly as you are, without needing you to become anything more before you are loved. Let yourself remember that your breath is a prayer, that your small pauses are sacred, that your imperfect efforts are seen with kindness, that your quiet is holy ground. Let yourself rest in the truth that you are not behind, that you are not too much or too little, that you are not disqualified by your failures, that you are not unnoticed in your quiet days. You are loved in the noise and in the silence. You are loved in your striving and in your stillness. You are loved when you feel strong and when you feel tired. You are loved on the days when you get it right and on the days when you fall short. You are loved simply because you are His. As you drift toward sleep, let this be the rhythm of your breath. I am loved. I am safe. I am held. Let the kindness of God wrap around you like a soft blanket, comforting you in the quiet, reminding you that you are already enough. You do not need to strive for this love. You do not need to perform to keep it. You do not need to fear losing it. It is here now, steady and sure, patient and kind, waiting for you in the silence. You are already closer to Him than you think. Quiet enough, and you will feel Him with you.